The movie was incredible.
Just jumping, just had me, rocking on my seat,
It was an experience of a lifetime.
It was cute. It was way cute. I loved it. It was brilliant. It really was.
I recommend it. It's a tearjerker.
I think everybody should see this movie.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Real Reactions. I'm Omri Rolan, and I'm sitting here with the stars of Take Me Home tonight, Topher Grace and Teresa Palmer. Congratulations on the movie, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thanks.
And before we get started, just happy Valentine's Day to both
Oh,
of you.
this is my first flower.
For real?
Yeah.
Nobody else got you
I
one?
know. I don't have anyone who wants to be my Valentine, so
Well,
thank you.
can I be your Valentine?
Please. Oh my gosh.
Sweet,
Sorry
dude.
He is
about
so
that.
romantic.
Sweet move, bro.
Oh, it smells so pretty.
That's good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
I can't even really sit here when I'm feeling
The love
the
connection.
heat.
All right, we'll tone it down for a second.
Yeah.
Please.
Let's just scroll back a little.
Guys, stop. It's like weird. It's so much.
You didn't only star in the movie, but you also came up with a story.
That's right.
What made you want to write Take Me Home tonight?
Well, how into like John Hughes movies and films like that are kids in college today?
I mean, at Emerson College,
Yeah.
we've definitely seen them all.
Right. I mean, they're probably like older classic films to you guys. But when I was growing up, they were coming out in movie theaters, and I was jealous that I now am an actor, but they don't make movies like that anymore. They make movies that are like all a raunchy comedy or all a romance, and they're both great. But John Hughes used to do this stuff, and other people, Cameron Crowe did this with Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Say Anything, where it kind of was a full course meal. It was like everything you'd want was in there. There was comedy and drama, I mean, movies like The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's great movies. So then we said, how can we set a movie back in that time? How can we make that kind of movie? And my producing partner came up with the idea that Dazed and Confused had been shot in the 90s, but about the 70s. But American Graffiti was shot in the 70s, about the 50s, and we thought, if we did one of those movies, it would put us back in that time when they were making John Hughes movies. So we wanted to be the first movie that wasn't a spoof, like making fun of the 80s. It really was like we went back in time and shot it in the 80s.
Yeah, well, it definitely seemed like that. And Teresa, what made you want to sign on for the project?
The script was really strong, and I was born in 1986, so I wasn't that familiar with that time period. I was like 3, the oldest I was in the 80s. And it was a great opportunity to go back and explore that time and go crazy with the hair and the makeup and the outfits. And then yeah, Topher. He was a calling card as well. I thought he was, really good and in good company. I was definitely a big fan of his. And
Thank you.
That's all right.
Tez is amazing in the film too.
Yep, keep going.
Well, it definitely came off as authentic. And some of the characters are really out there, but then other ones we're all kind of familiar with from our own lives.
Yeah.
Are any of them based on people that you guys know?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, I had like 12 different crushes in high school, as everyone does. So that was part we thought that has to be in a kind of John Hughes film. He's a classic guy chasing a girl. But for the best friend role, my producing partner is my best friend from high school. He's actually my roommate from boarding school.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I went to boarding school near Boston here in Southborough, Mass. So he's a little bit wilder than me, so he was kind of the basis for Barry. And then we wanted to have that platonic girl best friend role. And I'd wanted to work with Anna Faris for a long time. She's like one of the best actors of our generation.
She's
hilarious.
She's amazing.
So we wanted to just kind of get a gang together, and I felt like I was in my own Brat Pack. It was great.
We're just gonna borrow it.
It's gonna time!
We're in.
What's up?
Tell them where you're from.
Straight out of Compton. A brother with his finger
And Teresa, your character Tori's anything but subtle when she's hinting at Topher's character that she wants him to ask her to dance.
Yes, I
Are you
love the song. I love the
this
song.
song. Yeah. And you're not getting the hint.
And I'm like, cool.
It's so endearing.
He's
I
like,
love
yeah, I
that.
like
I don't know if I like this song.
It's like, oh, do you want to dance? It's like, yeah. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, but are you like that in real life? Will you ever make the first move?
No. I'm very traditional. I definitely want the guy to make the first move. So it was good that you gave me the rose because that's the first
absolutely.
move. Yeah.
You guys, there's a third person in this interview. I mean, please, like the heat is so magnetic.
I know.
Okay, we'll talk about Dan
down.
Fogler for a second. His character Barry, he tries to fit his entire college experience into one crazy night.
Yeah.
If you guys had to do that, what would that include?
I would go to Emerson.
Step one.
Oh, that's all the steps. I go to Emerson, party my ass off. Can you swear on here?
You can say ass.
Part of your
You can
ass
say
off.
ass. I was gonna say something else, but yeah.
What else do you do in college? I never went to college.
It's a dry school, right? There's no alcohol allowed? Just kidding.
That was the
real.
funniest face. You're like, really? Wow, I'm in trouble.
Right.
Yeah. Do little like naughty sleepovers in boys' dorm rooms. Does that go on?
That absolutely goes on. You guys are definitely invited. But what
Thanks.
about like a crazy game of truth or dare? Like you guys played a pretty intense game of that. What's the craziest thing either of you have ever been dared to do?
I don't know. I mean, it would have to involve like streaking, that sort of a thing. I did actually, yes. When I graduated my high school, we have this crazy night. It's called Muck Up Night. And you'll go out as a group and you do things to the school, like you toilet paper the school, and you do like doughies on the oval with your car. And I flashed some people. Apparently there's some video, which is really embarrassing. I'm sure that'll come out in a few years' time. What about you, Toy?
Let's see. Oh, I killed a man.
He did.
I know. I've never really
I thought we were
admitted
gonna
it
keep that
until
on the
now.
DL.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like maybe I shouldn't have shared this with this many people,
Yeah.
but I just took his wallet and just got the hell out of there.
So your character goes through a pretty elaborate plan to get his high school crush to notice him. What's the craziest thing you've ever done to get a girl's attention?
Craziest thing I've ever done to get a girl's attention. You know, man, I was so bad at it in high school. I was so bad. I remember there was a girl who was an actress, and I wasn't in a lot of the high school plays, but I was in one of them, and I had like 3 lines, and she was talking about Shakespeare. So embarrassing, and I memorized like a little thing in Shakespeare to say to her, and then I got it wrong when I was saying it to her, and she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's from Shakespeare."
Oh, that's so cute.
Well, what about you? Has a guy ever like bend over backwards just to get your attention?
No, I mean, maybe, but I didn't notice it. The one that I did to get a boy's attention was there's this guy a couple of years above me, and he was like the cool skater dude. And so I tried to skateboard, which was unsuccessful. I wanted to bust out like a kick flip ollie or whatever they're called. And I fell over and I sprained my ankle, and then that was the end of that.
Well, one of the funniest parts of the movies, and definitely my favorite part, is when Tori tells Matt that girls can always tell when a guy's staring at their chest.
Well, people are loving this scene,
I
and it wasn't
know.
like really. That comes out of this weird moment where on 70s show we'd have all this downtime. We were all really great friends, and Wilmer Valderrama and I went back to we were like hanging out in our dressing room, just trying to kill time. We decided to employ on each other techniques we used to look at girls, and it was so crazy obvious. Like I literally, because we'd never tried it on each other, and girls know. I feel
like the
awful.
Swipe. He
Yeah,
told me a few of
there's-
the moves. He's like the swipe down.
There's one where you
where
kind of
just
look
stare.
and you just keep going. There's one where you kind of
Just commit to it.
commit to the plane of where it is, and like you're not looking at them, but you are. And so we wrote this scene that came out of that kind of. I think by Tori admitting it, you really start to like her character because she kind of knows she's good looking, which is part of Tori's problem is that she's such a good-looking girl, and she's dealing with all the bad ramifications of that really in the real world. But the fact that she knows it at least makes her cool. She doesn't, whenever the really hot girl thinks she's like ugly in a film, I go,
That's so lame.
I call BS on that, yeah.
Well, at the beginning of this interview, I was gonna be like, guys, I'm up here. But like, you were pretty smooth. Like, you
Yeah,
didn't do
I'm
such a
pretty
good
amazing.
job.
Yeah, you
Sometimes
have
I
been,
do the.
I've
I
noticed
agree.
you looking,
Yeah.
yes,
sorry.
south, and
But
not cool.
for me, the best one is like, yeah, totally. Yeah, I know. Like just agreeing at the spot. Anyway, I just did it then. Sorry.
Oh, and she agrees.
All right,
really
well, my
did.
last question for you guys is, for people like myself in college, it's just so relevant, coming out of college, not knowing what you want to do. And what do you want us to take away from this movie?
Well, Matt Franklin is a modern day protagonist, just put in the 80s. We thought, what is the worst place we could put a guy who doesn't know what he wants to do? And it's in the 80s where, unlike our economy now, everything was going swimmingly. And so everyone at this job, it's kind of the end of his first summer out of college. Everyone has a job, is a fabulous banker or architect or whatever. So the thing that's great about the film is that Matt would be a beautiful swan now. He's just a really ugly duckling then. So, I mean, you got to kind of see the film to feel what the message is, and it's very subtle, but it's kind of like, you know, we hope he just rolls with it. Like, you will figure it out.
Let go.
You don't have to have the answer at 22.
Stop being so scared.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree. Thank you guys so much for sitting with
you.
me. Everyone
good.
should
Thank you for
definitely
my
see the
rose.
movie when it comes out March
I agree.
4th.
Hi, I'm Teresa Palmer,
I'm Topher Grace,
and you're watching the Emerson channel.
and you're probably about to go get up. All right, you gotta bleep that.